Hey everyone, and welcome to the next instalment of the Real Life Show. Now, you'll be thinking, Josh, where are you? Where on earth are you? You're not at the... where do we normally are? The Backyard Cafe? What? That slipped my mind. We're not at the Backyard Cafe today. We are in... you can't read. We are in church. We're in like a bit of a black abyss of a room. But we're not at the Backyard Cafe today, and you'll notice that I'm on my own. I'm not on my own because I've got a guest. But I'm on my own. Sarah's not with me. She's not very well at the moment, so she can't join me today. But we've got a bit of a special episode today. It wasn't in our schedule, and it wasn't in what we were going to be doing. But he was in the country. So my guest today is Beki from Bosnia Herzegovina.
Hello.
Welcome, Beki.
Thank you
so much for putting this time. It's late. We've just eaten at McDonald's. Did you enjoy your McDonald's?
I had, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure,
Enjoy it? What did you have?
Big Mac.
Big Mac. See, now, when we were in Bosnia, we went to a McDonald's, and the choice was completely different to our McDonald's.
Really?
There was different types of chips.
Okay.
There was different styles of burgers. We were very blessed in Bosnia. When we come back here, we're stuck with the same old. But it was a Big Mac nice. Enjoy it.
It was good.
Didn't fill you up though, because then you got crisps out afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
That's
But it's great to have you with us, Beki.
I'm so sad that Sarah is not here.
Oh,
with us
no.
tonight, because I have to listen to you.
Oh, she's really gutted. She's really gutted. We've been talking a lot in the last couple of weeks.
We bless you, Sarah.
Yeah, definitely. When we found out we were going to be able to have a conversation with you, we were very excited.
Okay.
And then a sickness bug entered the Aston household. Yeah. And it means it's just me today,
okay,
Beck. But we'll have fun.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll have fun.
Absolutely.
You travelled to England on Wednesday.
Yes.
Tell us what you've been doing while you've been here.
I came to England. Well, annually we meet. Our staff of Novimost meets with the trustees. So sometimes it happens in Bosnia. Sometimes we come here.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
In England, but it's our board meeting where we discuss a lot of our strategy and the ways how we're going to move forward.
Yes.
And we use that time to visit churches and people who support us and been faithful to us all these years and to the work of mission of Novimost in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Nice. So you've been travelling around a couple of churches, and then you joined us this evening for our prayer night, which was great.
It was brilliant. It was good. It was really something that just encouraged me, and it was, so far, that was the highlight of the trip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
and then we are, because there's a couple of our youth team that are coming out to camp in a month or so. So we've got our training tomorrow, like a bit of a training conversation tomorrow night, which I'm excited for. Yeah. We've had a bit of a conversation upstairs just about some things that we could be looking forward to. But I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow night to find out a little bit more about what we could expect.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Camp is a whole new experience for me.
Really?
I've done the main Mostar and Sarajevo.
Okay.
Camps next.
Okay. Have you done any camps in UK?
I've done like youth camps that I've attended or maybe led at.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a little bit different to what maybe I've experienced before.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. on health and safety part.
Yeah. Oh dear, Becky, I first met you actually about 7 years ago now. We just worked it out upstairs when I came to Sarajevo. I had 2 days with you in Sarajevo before I had got in a little camp van to Mostar. But I remember we were straight in with the with stuff because we got there on the Saturday morning and we were doing Saturday night youth on the evening straight away. Yeah. And I remember I was there with your son, Ellie, and it was a great night. And then on the Sunday morning, because church was on the afternoon in Sarajevo, we went down on a train. I don't know where it was to, and it was a church in the middle of a little shopping centre, and it was just full on straight away. But you never know what you're getting into when you get to Bosnia. It's always when you get there, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Maybe from your perspective.
Maybe. You know what's going on, but we don't.
Yes.
Right, let's get into it. We've got a bit of time and have a bit of a conversation, but there's a lot to chat about, I think. So let's get straight into it. I think it'd be great first, Beck, to tell everybody like how you know us. Talk about how the relationship started with the one and only Pam and Les all those years ago, and just tell us a little bit how you know us, and yeah, let's go from there.
Okay, so I'll probably tell you my version of
Yeah.
how it all started, but you should ask Pam and Les.
We'll get them on for their version.
They might
yeah.
have their own version
Okay.
of it, you know. So I was probably, it was 1998.
1998.
Novimost has, together with the Evangelical Church of Bosnia and Herzegovina, doing camps at the Croatian coast.
Okay.
And one of those camps, I remember, there was a lot of teams from England would come because the camps took place, they were massive. Couple of hundred people would come each week.
Okay, wow.
And it was just the time after the war, so there was a lot of people who, for them, was the first time that they would go outside of their city and come on the coast and things like that. So there was a lot of teams from England coming, and on one of those teams was Pam and Les. And I don't know how they heard about it. And I mean, I know now, but it's for them to tell it.
Okay.
But I come, and there's the leader of the camp. His name is Mike Robinson.
Okay.
And he was introducing me to this nice middle-aged couple, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just 18 years old.
Okay.
You know, just I would say punk kid who came out of the siege of Sarajevo, war.
Yeah.
And I had a water gun with me.
Okay.
And I'm glad it was water gun because, you know, before we had other guns.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get on to
So Mike just, you know, said, "Oh, this is Pam and Les," and you know, I said, "Hey, hello, hi," you know, and he was just as a joke playing like, "Oh, I dare you, you can't, you know, shoot them with the water gun."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You don't say that, you know.
Yeah.
Don't dare somebody who has 18 years old and he's brainless, you know, basically." So I'm sorry, Pam and Les, you know, but that started. I soaked them.
Yeah.
But that started the beautiful relationship that has been so far. They have been to me and my wife like parents.
Yeah.
In many cases, occasions, they went. They were journeying with us since then, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow, it goes a lot. It goes very much back, doesn't it, to our relationship with you guys, and many teams have been over in that time. Pamela's have pioneered sending youth teams and pampering teams and men's teams over to come and help. Tell us a little bit about you as just Beki. So what do you do in Bosnia, and like your family, and what? Tell us. Give us some names. Give us some names of some people.
Okay, so I am a husband to one wife.
Yes.
Her name is Jaca, and we have two beautiful sons. One is 19, and his name is Eli, and other is 11 years old, and his name is Mak. So, you know, small child, small problem, big child, big problem.
Big problem.
Yeah, so.
We actually got to see Ellie. Was he? Is
so
his
you
prom?
saw my problem, yeah.
Yeah, we saw him at his prom last year, which was
Okay.
we got the
cool.
opportunity.
He graduated. Yes,
who was? I think a girl called Alma was pioneered that trip. Ellie's got his prom tomorrow. Everyone's coming, so we all dressed as best as we possibly could in the clothes that we brought and headed down to this lovely building. Outside on these steps and watched Ellie have his prom, which was surreal but great at the same time. And then we had pizza afterwards, which was fantastic pizza. It was fantastic. That's cool though. So what do you actually do? What's your job title in Bosnia?
So I am officially employed by Novimost, and I'm a director of Novimost. Novimost is a charity that is actually funded here in England many years ago. But it is a Christian charity that that helps young people,
Yeah.
you know, enter their hopes and dreams to influence young people's life, to transform their lives so that they can transform their
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And yeah, I work as a director, but I'm also elder in a church and do a lot of things.
Yeah.
What every other guy, you know, when they see you in church that you can do something, they just keep
Yeah.
piling on stuff
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
You know how that feels.
I know. I do. Yes, I do. I do. So
So-
you are based in Sarajevo,
Yes,
but your
I
job
live,
takes you
absolutely.
everywhere.
Yeah, well, Novimost has like 4 locations
Yeah.
in 4 different cities in Bosnia, but I oversee all of the work.
All of the
But
work.
I'm based in Sarajevo,
Sarajevo.
and have our little team now this
Yeah.
year. We are trying with some
Developing,
young people to expand and
Nice. So that's the 4 cities: Sarajevo,
Sarajevo, Čapljina, Mostar, and Jajce.
Jajce.
Yes.
So are you? I bet are you in those areas a lot, or is that what your team is for?
Yeah, each location has its own team.
Oh, okay,
you know,
that's cool.
And so
Yeah.
we visit, we talk a lot, we
Yeah.
coordinate different things, and we
Yes.
do some of the events and some of the things like we do it together, like
Yeah.
the summer camps that
Yeah.
you guys
Where they
gonna
all come together as one. Yeah.
and then winter camps also are things
Yeah.
like joint events that
Yeah.
we do.
So
together.
I'm getting summer camps, which is we're going to get to
Yeah.
be part of. Very hot, sun's out. Winter camps. What happens? Is that skiing? Do you do a bit of
yeah,
skiing?
skiing
Okay.
and snowboarding. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we give a young people opportunity to learn the skill of snowboarding
Nice.
and or skiing, whatever they prefer. But it's just amazing, you know. If we kind of have this mission to help them get out of their comfort zone,
Yeah.
and get them to learn the skill to push them a little bit
Nice.
out of their capabilities,
Yeah.
you know, where they doubt in themselves
Yeah.
and that they can learn something
Yeah,
new.
yeah.
And through all that, they discover themselves. But, you
Yeah.
know, that's the moment where actually, you know, the purpose of who you are resonate with the story that
Wow,
God
yeah.
is telling us, and that
Yeah.
is that we are uniquely created,
Yeah.
that He is the one who is
Yeah.
giving you purpose. He is the one who can only, you know,
Yeah.
show you the way and show you who you really
Yeah.
are and who you are ought to be. you
Yeah.
know.
So what you're saying is, once we've been to summer camp, we should come to winter camp.
Yeah,
as
well,
the next
that's
one.
next level, huh? Next
Because
level.
I want to learn how to snowboard.
Oh, that would
I
be
want
cool.
to learn how to
yeah.
snowboard. That's
Well,
brilliant. But I've obviously been seeing the work in Bosnia, and it's incredible to even be a part of it for that short amount of time. And like, well, I always leave. I remember I posted on Instagram just after I left last year. I thought you fall in love with the place because we at Arise, we're a people. We're a family.
Yeah.
And it's almost like when we come, it is family as well. When we come, it feels like home, which is really strange to walk into a place like Bosnia. When you walk out of the sister house where you're staying in Sarajevo, and your surroundings look so different to what we walk out of our houses to. Yet, like, it feels, because of the people,
yeah,
I guess.
Probably because of no, definitely. It's the relationships.
Yeah.
It's the people. It's the connections.
Yeah,
That,
and that is it's got
yeah.
such great foundations, hasn't it, with the work
Absolutely.
that Pamela's has done over the years, and obviously the work that you guys still do. Like, I went 7 years ago, but that's not like I wasn't the first team. There's been so many teams that went
Yeah,
and have been
yeah,
over the years, and have done so much stuff.
Definitely, Yeah. Well, you know, I think the relationship with when you go to a mission trip, there's you have to understand there is our perspective, but there is a perspective of the people who are coming out
Yeah.
there. You know, so if you ask me why do we need mission, we need, for us it's important that our people also see the bigger picture, that there are people outside somewhere who are going through the same
Yeah.
challenges in life,
Yeah.
and need help, and just
Mhm.
leading
Yeah.
normal life, that you kind of get a bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
about only my
Yeah.
country, me, my nation. There
Yeah.
is,
And
it's a
especially like mission has this, the word has this connotation that means that you're going to go and you're going to be full on,
yeah,
crazy,
yeah, yeah.
non-stop. And I remember when we came last year, we came with the idea it was going to be full on. Like we weren't going to get any sleep. We were ready. We were ready to just go for it.
Uh-huh.
And very quickly we found out it wasn't going to be that kind of mission trip.
Yeah.
And mission just have that thought in people's heads that it's going to be full on. I'm not going to stop. But actually, that time we got to spend with the youth team in Sarajevo last year was that bigger picture thing. It was enabling us to get amongst those guys because we'd been through it here in England. We had COVID as well, and we had to come out of this space and create
Absolutely, yes.
create a space where young people could come in again. And we walked into a space in Bosnia, in Sarajevo, where the team were still in that period of coming out of that space, and we were very blessed to be able to come and be part of that.
When I was younger, the being teenager in England and in Bosnia was probably very, very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
But today, because of globalization
Yeah.
and all the media, social media, and
Yeah.
everything, you guys know
Similar.
it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
very similar.
Yeah.
It's much easier to connect.
Yeah.
It's much easier.
We did fine that. Yeah, we did
and
fine.
I think you did great.
Yeah.
You just sit down, start talking,
Yeah.
doing things together.
Yeah.
Will also help you. Just
Yeah.
to
We were
develop
on our second
relationships.
night. I remember we were sat in the church in Sarajevo, just in a circle, and everyone was a bit quiet.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, and then somebody, for some reason, we started showing pictures of our houses at home to everybody. This is my house. this is my car, and then this whole conversation just developed, and we were all laughing our heads off and heading down to get a pancake about half an hour later.
Yes,
so
yes,
the relationships really did blossom that year. So, but amazing work that happens in Bosnia. We want to. I want to just for 1 minute, for a little bit actually. Let's focus in on you, Beki, because you're our guest today.
Okay.
Tell us about growing up. Now, we want to talk about the war that went on in Bosnia back. I don't know how long ago it was. You'll tell us in a minute. But we recently in the news, like we just talked about the media, we've experienced and watched from afar the war in Russia.
Yeah.
And actually,
Ukraine,
you experienced something quite similar
Yeah.
back when you were younger. So talk to us a little bit about your childhood and the experience of the war in that time.
Okay. Well, it was 30 years ago. So in the early 90s, actually 1992, that's where the war, 1991 in Croatia already started, but in Bosnia came in 92. And it was just a horrible, horrible war that we couldn't believe that will happen, because I didn't know even what ethnicity I was, and who are my ancestors from father's sides and who am I from mother's side. Suddenly, because we grew up in Yugoslavia, that was in that time, communism was present. To be true to the word, communism in Yugoslavia was more light version than in Russia and some of the eastern countries, because it was we had access to MTV, to drinking like Coca-Cola and having all things that are coming from a West, watching West movies. From West, listening same music and things like that. So that had a lot of influence on us. And in one sense, it was really good. But then suddenly it came to a point where people the national identity was waking up.
Yeah.
And for national identity to be woken up, it's not a problem. But the problem becomes when you start hating others,
Yeah.
and thinking less of others, or
Yeah.
thinking that you are better from the others, and thinking that they are threat.
Yeah.
And that's basically what triggered the conflict there. And I was 12 years old when it
Wow.
started.
Yeah.
So when you experience things like that, and for 4 years it was there. So I was living 4 years in Sarajevo. I wasn't a refugee. I stayed the whole time with
Wow.
my family. We were under the siege, and constantly for 4 years, well, with some periods of, truce, but most of the time,
Yeah.
shelling, bombing,
Yeah.
in danger for your life. When I was 14, I was even shot by
Wow.
a sniper. I was walking with a friend on the street. I was 14 years old,
Yeah.
1994.
So that was 2 years into
2 years
the
into the
war.
war, yeah.
So okay. Let's pause a second there, Beck. You were shot by a sniper
Yes.
in the middle of your hometown.
Yes.
So I'm gonna talk to you about what I would have thought in that position.
What would
So
you
2
say?
years into a war, I
Yeah.
don't think I would have left my house if that was what I was experiencing. So you can explain that in a second. But
Okay.
so you were
I'll
shot.
try.
You can try.
Yeah.
So he was shot by a sniper. I'm trying to just get my head around that a second. So what is that moment like? What was you were with a friend, so that's helpful.
Well, both of us were shot
Okay.
with the same bullet in the same times, in the same leg. But it's how you. This is something you have to fully understand it. You have to experience it. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, you can think how it was, and
Yeah.
I appreciate your way, like you are trying to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get out. I wasn't getting out of the house in the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
But the
2 years in.
Yeah, but interesting thing is you can't believe what the humans are capable of getting adopted. We are adoptive as humans,
Yeah.
you know. Suddenly, things that are not normal become normal to you, and you
Yeah.
don't even notice
Yeah.
it. You know, in a way, you don't notice that you can live without electricity.
Well, you adapt, don't you? To
Yeah, you
what
adapt.
what you're going
So
through.
you are in kind of in survival mode,
Yeah.
you know. And because I was a kid, you still a kid. Kid is a kid. You know, kid still wants to have fun.
Yeah.
They still want to laugh. They still want to have
Mm-hmm.
good time. So in a way, I know I was in a war, but I
Yeah.
had a great time. I'm not sure if I can.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
as a child who was still having friends, yes, we also, on another hand, we were traumatized. But to be honest, I didn't know that I was traumatized.
Okay.
When war ended, that was the time when I figured out that
Okay.
I'm traumatized,
Okay.
and because PTSD hits you
Yeah.
when you are going through the rough time,
Yeah.
you are trying to survive, so
Yeah.
you are giving your best.
Yeah.
But when it all finishes,
That's
and
when
then
it's
you
revealed.
see the aftermath,
Yeah.
when there's no point. Like, what shall we do now?
Yeah.
You know, and the threat is gone.
Yeah.
You know, then this
Yeah.
this kicks in the backwards. But we got Houston. These are the things: no electricity, no water, no food. So I haven't seen some of fruits for 4 years. Some of the food.
Wow.
And things like that. I mean, I say this now with the smile, but it was hard. And as I said, in that time you get used to it, you don't mind. But then later on, when I look now back,
Yeah.
I see, man,
Well, yeah.
it's horrible.
Yeah. And I guess it's really hard for us to people that are listening right now.
Yeah.
We'll find it hard to even comprehend. Like when we have had the recent news of Russia, and like it is hard to comprehend what that is.
When this started in Ukraine, it's to a lot of people in my country
Yeah.
evoke the memories.
Yeah.
So like we had multiple calls and we witnessed multiple situations with our neighbors that people, older ladies and
Yeah.
men, they would just start crying because they watched on television exactly what was
Memories. Yeah.
happening here.
Yeah. So we might circle back round, but so tell us about when you first experienced Jesus and said yes to Jesus.
Yeah.
Was that as early as your childhood?
Yeah, no, I was raised completely I can't say when you say I raised in communist country. Yeah, I was raised in a communist country, so the religion was not part of the education
Okay.
system.
Yeah.
My parents weren't religious, although my mom is a Serb and she comes from a Serbian Orthodox background. And my father is a Muslim, Bosniak, and he comes from that background. But I was never raised in any of these religion. I was never influenced, never said that I had to do something or go somewhere. But the school was telling us that the religion is just a way to rule the masses, and it's something that, we learned in school that Jesus is a myth, that it's made up story.
Yeah.
So just that people can rule over other people, like that Pope can rule over, that the church can, and things like that. So, and if you believe in God, you are ridiculous. Like you look, we are going to the moon.
Yeah.
World is becoming a very rapidly. We are advancing in technology, this and that. So, believing God, that's an old story.
Yeah.
And then, then war starts.
Okay.
And then I'm confused. Then first time I experience that life doesn't have sense, because I'm 12, 13 years old, and you grow up very quickly, mature, not grow up, but mature, because you see people dying around you. You see tragedy, you see horrible things. It doesn't make sense.
No.
I hated all religion, because I believed that all in the name of God, they were killing each other. Like you have Catholic people who would, pray to Mary to forgive the sins. They would, be in the combat, but then you do couple of Our Father and you are forgiven. Or Muslims who would pray to Allah to be taken in jail. So it really confused me. If there was a God, I was thinking like, are they meant, the religions, to wish good things? So why these people are killing each other in the name of their God, protecting and everything? So that was my thinking, and I was completely confused and lost and afraid that I'm going to die, because people are dying. It became, and even when I got shot, that was when it became certain.
Real.
This can happen to me. Like before, I had friends who were shot, or friends who had something happen or died even. But this will not happen to me. No. It can happen to you. And
it became very real very quickly then.
And so am I just born to die one day?
Wow.
Is this the life? Is this it?
Yeah.
It was messing up with my mind. Like why are we here on earth that one day we will just disappear? What's the point? And at that time I met a girl that I liked in school. So it always starts there, huh?
It has done quite a lot in our experience of real life so far with Jackie, with everybody so far, with Matt and with Pete and Rach and Kay. It always starts with I liked a girl or I liked a boy in school.
Yes, I liked a girl in a school, and she liked me, but she was different.
Okay.
And And you can imagine why, you know. So she liked me, but she didn't want to be my girlfriend. I asked her, why?
How confusing.
Well, very confusing. And I said, why? And she goes like, well, you know, we are too young. We'll just hurt each other. You know, I believe in Jesus. And I'm like, cuckoo, you know, she's she's not
Different.
she's not good in her hand. Like, Jesus. And when I heard that she believes in God, oh, now I want to smack her down and tell her there's no point. Look at what they are doing in our But every hard question I would ask her and challenge her, she
had an answer.
She had an answer.
Wow.
It's not when I ask her, like, shouldn't God be, you know, helping us and doing this? It's like, yeah, he wants, but people don't let him. They do whatever they want. That is the problem. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So she gave me the Bible. So I start reading the Gospel of Matthew. And when I read it, I felt in love with the person of Jesus. Like, if there was a God on earth, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, can a man be this good? Can a man be this humble?
Yeah.
Can a man be this generous? Can a man be this open and truthful, just, everything, compassionate, everything in the same time? I was like blown away. Like, it took me some time, but you know, I start praying, God, reveal to me yourself. Are you real? And of course, it happened in one moment that I realized that a new worldview came to my heart, revealed by the Holy Spirit, that a man has a problem of mortality, but mortality in physical way, but also mortality in spiritual way. Because if we rebelled against him, we went our own way, and we lost the blessing that we had with him. But he chose to redeem us, to buy us, and he paid a full price for that. And when it all got down and I understood it, I viewed the world differently.
Very differently.
Very differently.
So this is during the war.
This is
during the war.
Yeah.
So
there's no church. It's just her and her brother. Well, that girl later became my wife. Yeah.
Amen.
But it wasn't like that from the beginning.
So, I love asking this question because I've known Jesus, or have known of faith the whole of my life. Born into church. I was probably in church before I was 2 weeks old, probably. Gave my life to Jesus at an early age. So don't know a life without Jesus. I'm very blessed to say that. But I also love to unpack and find out what that heart change looked like. And I think in this situation, Beki, during a war, that probably did completely flip the script, kind of flipped everything on its head. What was that experience like? You're saying having Jesus revealed to you when you are in this massive craziness of a war, having been shot, hearing all this stuff going on around you. What does that look like in that time?
But it suddenly made sense. I found the answers on the hard things, you know. That you need God in everything. You need him in your emotional, for your emotions, in your in whole of who you are. You know. Because I ultimately believe, why do we cry or get emotional when we watch certain movies?
Okay.
There's something that touches us in that story.
In that moment.
Okay, in that moment. And go and follow your tears, I would say. And you'll see that actually your tears would lead you actually to the place of redemption. Because we are touched when we see love, when we see unconditional love. We are touched when we see the purpose that somebody is, something is just, something, those deep desires.
Yeah.
And so when you see that, it's actually all those movies and everything that humankind makes is echoing the bigger story that God is telling to the world. And that is that he created them, and because he loved them, man disobeyed. But God is still pursuing him.
Yeah.
And he died and came in a certain point of the history, and he's redeeming our story. It's all about, so even the conflict and everything and all the relationship and all the trauma and emotional roller coaster that I had, God is redeeming.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to redeem each story, each little story inside of your story for the glory of his big story.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, mic drop. Not your mic. Yeah.
That's funny.
Mad. So, this might be a strange question to ask, but
No,
so in the middle of the war, you say yes, it's like you have this moment where Jesus revealed to you. Did you find that moment where you're now experiencing the war while learning about Jesus, while starting your faith? Did you find that was helping experience the war? Did it help in that time? Like, did it make you see what was going on around you differently?
It definitely, I think, for the Western egalitarian societies, I would say so, because you didn't have that experience, or those kind of experience don't happen. So that's why it takes time for young people here to mature, and even takes them longer and longer.
Yeah.
When you experience something like that, you mature. You are
Straight away.
forced.
Yeah.
I mean, that also has his benefits, but also has the bad side effects. Like I could slow down with something. I shouldn't see death so much. But it is reality. Life. Since the day you are born, you are about to die.
Yeah.
And it's gonna happen. It's the only certain thing in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what do we do? In same time, death is so unnatural. That's why we cry when we lose our dear ones. Because you feel that somebody took something away from you.
Yeah.
And we tell, so the Jesus story, when I read the crucifixion and everything, it was real to me.
Yeah.
It was not like a story, Sunday school story. To me, killing Jesus was real because I saw death around me.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So before we just move on a second, I just want to, Matthew was the first book that you read.
Yeah.
Wow. So the Gospels were where you started. Like, where a lot of people, like we have a lot of new Christians, some people probably non-Christians watching this, and what of your experience, would Matthew be a place you would recommend people to start, or where's a place maybe a place in the Bible that you love?
Well, or 4 reports.
Yeah,
I
Matthew,
call
Mark,
them,
Luke, and John.
I call them reports about Jesus.
Yes.
The stories about Jesus that the apostles wrote are great.
Yeah.
Each one has a different tune.
Yeah.
A little bit different because to whom it was written and that. But I don't know, I probably read Matthew, I don't know why, but I read it.
First one out the 4.
Yeah, probably, because it was in that order. They usually say you should start from John,
Yeah.
But I started with Matthew, and I was blown away by the Sermon on the Mountain. I know that left big impression on my life. And the second thing was was just the parts where Matthew explaining how the crucifixion went, and when he said, where the two thieves were there with him, and when he was saying to the mob that was actually welcoming him, applauding, Hosanna, welcome, to Jerusalem, then almost similar mob crucified him tomorrow. And it's just those imprints and things that I remember. Like I was literally mad on Jewish people because they betrayed Jesus.
Wow.
As a 13 years old, I was like, wow, how could they do this to him,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, so to me, like the Bible is quite literal. What those experiences and those stories became really true to you because of what you were seeing around you.
Yeah, I would say that because you're saying you grew up in a church, so you heard about his story so many times.
So many times.
And you heard it like,
all the nursery rhymes and all that kind of stuff.
But when I heard it, I was still young, 12, 13 years. But I saw real, I was experiencing death. I was experiencing, not me personally, but seeing people that tomorrow we greeted our neighborhood and then we hear, grenade fall down and he's dead. And you get not to see him anymore.
No.
And it's like, it's very, like it becomes your reality. And so to me, story about Jesus is not a story. Like I had a film inside of me, inside of my head. Like I could imagine
it,
imagine the things,
So post-war then, the aftermath of what happened.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience, what that looked like, because I bet that was, I bet that could be a whole new story.
God help us.
Yeah.
That's everything I can say. Like it's been 30 years.
We're still experiencing.
We are still dealing with the aftermath. So that's what war brings.
Yeah.
So you have the conflict, the real problem, but when that ends, this is what I'm feeling sad about Ukraine.
Yeah.
And everything that's happening here. Because the conflict is still not over, but when it gets to a point, eventually somebody is going to get tired.
Yeah.
And when that's finished, then the real problems begin.
Yeah.
Well, not real, but different. Different problems. And there's a lot of, because economy is devastated.
Yeah.
So you have to start from the beginning. Some things you can't start because machines for big, massive productions are old. And you don't have the capital to invest to get. So it's really economy, corruption is big. A lot of things are not, and they are still seeding. The political parties are ruling on the wings of still threatening their own people, that they are threatened from the other people. And in those lies, in that atmosphere, sometimes when I go outside, like here in England, and I feel like a big weight is gone because I just changed the place. But that's how I feel. Like I feel big weight, and still the enemy and those the enemy is not people, it's the spirit of it's the one who is influencing people to do wrong things. And we are investing still wrong. Like there is, I wish that there will come the shift when people will understand that they need to forgive, not because of those others that they're going to get away with it, but because you need to get forward. You need to do that because of your children. And that you and I know, I mean, it's easier for me to say this than to do it, but I did have to forgive in my life.
Yeah.
Several times. It's not easy, but
No.
I like what C.S. Lewis said, forgiveness is like a math. Do not start with complicated formulas. Start with 2 + 2,
Yeah.
and you're going to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
So our experience, so the people who have been over to Bosnia in recent years to do mission will experience the church in Bosnia is there. We've been to church services. We've been able to do stuff within those services. But you said back when you met your future wife that it was just her who told you about Jesus.
Yeah.
So talk about the aftermath and into the now. What has it been like over the years of like church becoming more of a thing and Jesus not being a name which is moved away from?
Well, definitely we live in a country that is a border between three
Okay.
great world influence.
Yeah.
East and West.
Yeah.
And Islam from the south that came.
Yeah.
So sometimes Bosnia and Sarajevo are called as European Jerusalem.
Okay.
Because it has and you have been in Sarajevo, so you saw the church bells ringing in the same time, together with the imam's call of prayer, so everything is packed there, and there is tension. I actually love diversity.
Yeah.
I love that vibe of different. But some people don't, they threat each other. But so being a newborn Christian in that kind of environment that has a recent weight of and chains of that unforgiveness and lack of trust and hurt, it is not easy.
No.
It feels like you are talking sometimes to the bricks. They just they need a lot of people. They don't understand God, but they just lean onto their religion because of the national reasons. Not that they've really thought through why they believe, how they believe. You know what I mean? So, and that's the big problem. One of the big problems. So, in the beginning, when I became Christian, and when we talked to our friends, there's a lot of people who just like heard about this, accepted God, accepted that worldview, and continue to live. But later on, it kind of stopped. It was like a mini little revival, I would say.
Yeah.
And now it's hard. I think that the new generation, because we in Bosnia have a first generation like you.
Yes.
Kids who are born in Christian homes. Like my generations don't have that. But this now, like my son and sons and daughters of my friends, they are being raised in Christian families.
In Christian homes,
And they'll have to figure out how they're going to reach them, their peers, their people around. And to be honest, we have failed them. We will fail them because we are not perfect. But we will not give up because God has not given up on us. And we will try to champion them and continue on that journey to discover how these people are going to be reached.
Wow. So, processing everything in my head as you say. Talk to me. So, what I'd love to know. So, what brought you then to Novimost and leading the church in Sarajevo? What was that? Where did that come from?
Yeah. Well, I discovered I was one of those people who was first. You usually in a church become. How you say, you are a youth minister.
Like a youth pastor in
youth pastor, and then you become like associate pastor, and then you become a senior pastor.
Yes.
So I was senior pastor, And then I realized I want to be youth pastor.
So you went
I went
you went
backwards.
backwards.
Usually things don't go normal way with
Oh.
me, which is fine. I'm
Yeah.
used to it. So I realized that if new generation, if we God just gave passion to me and something to invest in new generation,
Yeah.
to give them what I hoped that I would have
Yeah.
when I was growing
Yeah,
up, and I didn't have. Well, I had some, but
Yeah.
not too much. So that passion definitely came from God, because there are some ages that teenagers and young adults, they go on my nerves, to be honest. I don't, I think they are spoiled. Sometimes
Okay,
I
wow.
think
Yeah.
they are just, they think that they know everything.
We
They are
do.
nodding with the head like that, and still think that I'm the one who is wrong.
Yeah.
We can
It's
laugh
true.
about
It's
it.
true,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we
true.
can.
I was like that. I know
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
true, because
Yeah.
I was like that. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
but I know better. It's not. But we that doesn't mean we should talk about these
Yeah.
things. We should, and God just gave big burden to invest in new generation, and the way how He brought this was, I want to see the next generation win in Bosnia. But
Wow.
let's define winning.
Yeah.
What is winning? It's not necessarily that they have a better standard of life. I wish that, I'm not against it,
Yeah.
but if they seek to have better standard of life than I had, they should. Win is when you realize that you have been given a standard for living, which is God's word.
She's God's, yeah.
That's
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
So whatever your life looks like, poor, rich,
Yeah.
better, you have a standard for
Yeah.
life.
That's cool.
And so that's what we
Wow.
wanna give them.
That's so good. And wow, really, that's amazing. So what's life in Bosnia like today? What does that look like today? So you're working within Novimost.
Yeah.
You got your teams out there in the different areas, in those 4 different areas. What does away from Novimost? What is life like for the people of Sarajevo, people of Mostar, Jajce, Chaplina, all these places? What is life like? So you said not long a couple of minutes ago about when I asked you post the war, what was that like? You're still experiencing it. Well, when we were just talking upstairs before we started this, like when I experienced in Mostar, going up to see the cross on the hill and the tape being around mine areas. And I remember I told this story upstairs, but I walked into this like little like a cove kind of thing with like a gun hole in, where obviously a soldier had been in this hole, and and there was just gun shells everywhere.
Yeah.
And I had this real moment, which is what you were saying. It is still really real.
Yeah.
Like the war is still real, and it became really real to me in that moment 7 years ago when I experienced that, because I was like, wow, I am stood in what was a war zone.
Well, life is normalized. There is, you see less and less, buildings are being rebuilt.
Yeah.
There's less and less visible scars in infrastructure. But, there is more employment.
Yeah.
But not still, the rate of unemployment is huge.
Yeah.
It's probably over 30%.
Yeah.
And young people are still leaving because, the standard of life, and that's why I use the word standard of life, because standard of life is not good.
Yeah, and it's seen better elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll go in Western countries where they can earn more for the same job that they are doing in Bosnia. So they would leave, they want to go, they look for a better future. So, but in order to make the environment this environment in Bosnia needs to go through some kind of catharsis,
Yeah.
through a change. There's a lot of corruption, a lot of unjust
Yeah.
stuff are keeping this of happening. The redemption needs to come, but yeah, we can only pray.
Yeah.
And be faithful. We can dream big, but be faithful in little things.
Yeah.
Day by day. One of the best things was what Pam taught me to pray in a way. Not like literally, like when you pray like this. But I observed, watched, listened, in those early days. And she once said that when we pray, it's like a big rock. And you have a small, like a nail or anchor, how you say, and you're hitting it with the hammer. And, it's a big rock. Nothing's happening. There's no visible change, there's no visible crack. But you don't know what's happening inside. There is invisible world.
Yeah, wow.
And this is why we need to continue to pray and pray. And when we pray, we should pray some more.
Yeah.
And when
just
we
keep
finish
praying.
Keep walking in God's. Be faithful in little things. Be faithful in little things.
And Bosnia are in a year of prayer at the moment.
It is. It is.
Wow.
Yes.
And we a couple of months back we joined together and was part of one of the days of prayer, but in the UK, which is great. So Bosnia are praying this year, which is brilliant.
And please join us.
We will definitely.
Thank you. Yeah.
One of our vision goals this year at church is to make our church more aware of our mission partners and reveal the stuff that we are a part of more, which obviously Novimost Bosnia and Herzegovina are one of our mission partners, and obviously opportunities for us to come out, which is happening, which is going to be great. We've got some teams going over this year. Talk to me about the power and the importance of us as teams coming over to you guys. How helpful is it? What I'm trying to say is, like, why should people come? Like, what is there out there for us to do?
Well, as I said in the beginning, I think there are two sides. There's our perspective and your guys.
Okay. Yeah.
And so from both sides, I can say why. It's a good question. It's a valid question.
Yeah.
Why would you come? Because you don't want to end up being burdened to somebody to be in a way. Yeah. And it's a honestly good, legitimate question. I think from our side, it's one thing is experience from the Bosnian side. Why the Bosnians need you guys to come there is to see, because some of them, like I have a luxury traveling around, but some don't.
Yeah.
But that they see that there are people out there who having normal life, who have the same fights, same struggles in the life that they do. And still, and you guys are choosing to come on your holiday time to serve others. I think that's one of the good reasons that you are hitting with that. And just coming alongside, helping, asking, how can we help?
Yeah.
And when local people tell you, hey, this is the way you can help us, then you come and help, which is amazing. For you, you should ask yourself, but I can assume what could it mean for you, because you are experiencing different culture.
Yeah.
You are also gaining that bigger picture feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
You learn a lot from it, And
Definitely,
and it's a mutual thing, It's a something that we both need. We just need to be honest about it. And to me, it's most important, like to say the expectations and set everything in the right place, that enemy cannot misuse something. And
I when you say ask yourself. I only said it on a Friday night a couple of days ago. The John 3:16 verse says, "God so loved the world that he gave his only son. Not God so loved the UK, or God so loved the Kings Winford. He loved the world.
Amen,
And
brother.
actually, like you've just said it there, it just gets you part of the bigger. You become part of the bigger picture, don't you? And that bigger mission, that God wants the world, not just the little people around you. Like that is our mission. Local and our communities, our mission is to go and tell our local community about Jesus, but actually to be part of that bigger picture, that God so loved the world, to be part of that and to go into a different country and tell someone about Jesus. There's something a little bit different about that, and that feeling when you get to sit with somebody, when you're from completely different cultures, completely different backgrounds. Your story is very different to their story, but your common thing is Jesus and your faith. There's something very powerful in those conversations, and like from experience, I recommend getting yourself anywhere, whether it be Bosnia or anywhere. Mission is absolutely amazing.
I like you, Josh.
I like you too. So, what's coming up in Bosnia and Novimost in the next, I don't know, couple of months? What's coming up for you?
Oh, it's the camps.
Camps.
Like we are preparing for the camp season. So at the moment we are recruiting the long-term team, which is a group of young people who will serve throughout the whole different camps that will happen in a month and a half period, whole July. And we're going to do that. There's a lot of construction work going on there. We hope it's going to be finished. So preparation time, we are developing programs for different camps, inviting people, getting them ready, registered. So basically, I would say in the coming month is that, you know.
Wow.
So, it's going to be fun, you know.
Yeah. I can imagine a lot of people watching will want to know how they now get involved. They're hearing this story and how they get involved. And the year of prayer, joining with prayer is really important. And as one of our mission partners as well, giving into the life of Rise Church then gives into the life of Bosnia and Herzegovina as well, because we get to send people.
We were just on a prayer meeting before this, and it was amazing. You know, when somebody I think it was Andy who started praying for emotional brokenness of the next generation. Well, we can relate to that completely. Yeah. Especially now because of these tragical events that happened in Serbia, which is next door to us. Yeah. So we need to pray. Yeah. We need to keep on praying and just like calling out God's name to do what we can't do. Yeah. We can't manipulate things out of the people. You know, only God can change them. Only God can open eyes. Only God can do certain things. But we need to start calling, you know. Yeah. Lord, we want to see this happen. Yeah. So I was very encouraged and very impressed with the prayer meeting.
What we'll do is, in the description of this video, we'll put all of the Novimost information in there for you guys to find out a little bit more about what goes on. And because we are coming to the end of our time together, Becky, but we could have talked for a lot longer, I would say, and people watching will be like, they could have spoken about so much more, but we only have so much time together.
I was like, probably they changed another YouTube channel by half.
No. We have loyal watchers who will be with us right to the end. It's been so great having you on, Becky. Thank you so much for coming as well, especially a late evening like this, and getting us into your little schedule. We've missed Sarah.
Yeah,
we've missed Sarah.
No, yes,
but maybe next time you're around, we'll get you in and we'll unpack a little bit more. Yeah. One thing that we do on the Real Life show, at the very end of our video, is take a selfie.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a selfie.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a bit of a tradition.
Okay.
So I'll come over to you, and we'll take a bit of a. You ready?
Yes. Hey.
Love it. Brill, Becky, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for watching this episode of this special episode of the Real Life Show. We are available on Audible, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. You can find us all on there. And once you're on the YouTube channel, you can see all of our services. You can see our other podcast, the Deeper Podcast, with Pastor Tony, Joe Cox, Ant Jennings, and Jack Jones. It's a great one to listen to, that is as well. But It's been great to chat with you, Becky. Thank you so much for coming on. We're looking forward to seeing what the year of prayer and what camp reveals in the next couple of months when we come to camp.
Yeah, thank you so much, Josh.
No
you were
worries,
a great
mate.
host. You exceeded my expectations.
I think I have as well. I've exceeded my own expectations in this moment.
I love it. Super.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you
thanks
very much, mate, for
watching,
coming on. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next Real Life Show.